Classic rock album reviews coming right at you.
SHMACKEMAGOB, my friends, it is time for one of these classic album thingies that I do once a month. And I want to talk about this. Journey Infinity. I absolutely love this album. This album is awesome. And my first Journey album, maybe that's why it's my favorite. But I love Journey, man. I mean, I don't own all their stuff, but you know, I have the early stuff. You know, pre-Steve Perry, this and this. I believe this has everything off the first three albums. I have these two, and it's Looking to the Future right next, and I have the first Journey album. Where's the one that's just called Journey? It's probably in this stack. But anyway, I'm a big fan of this lineup. I did like the early stuff, though it was more proggy and stuff. But I think when they went this route is when it really grabbed me. I'm a big fan of the Greg Raleigh era with Steve Perry. Those three albums are my favorites. But I did like Escape and I did like Frontiers after that. But I got to tell you, this one's really good. But it's a shame, man, that this one didn't get that much attention. It's called Revelation, right? I think it's a really good album, but you know, most people that, and probably I'm speaking to some of you out there that, you know, maybe you don't like Journey, but maybe like some classic band that you like, that you love, and then they release an album now that's really good that you won't even look at, you won't even investigate. And I don't know, man, I don't get people. I don't understand how people can be that way. Are you music fans or what? Or are you the type of person saying, well, it doesn't have Steve Perry, therefore I'm not going to listen to it? I'll never understand that mentality. I'll never understand somebody judging music without listening to it. Listen to it, then judge it. You know, if you don't like it without Steve Perry and you don't like that album, then it's legit. But if you're not going to hear it at all and judge it, you're not a music fan. You're really not. You just care too much of the inside stuff more than the actual music. But let's get into this, okay? Starts off with Lights. What a beautiful song. Love that opening riffage. Love Steve Perry's voice. Song about the Bay Area, the San Francisco. And it's just a phenomenal song. And the songs are not in order on here, so I'm just going to read it in this order for a change. Wheels in the Sky, which is what opens side 2. Again, great song. I remember it was a radio staple as well as Lights. And just love it. Love that solo. It's just a good rockin' tune. You got something to hide. What a great, you know, the way Steve sings that. Really cool, mellow, chill, beautiful song. La Do Da Do Day. Stupid. I'll admit, it's a stupid title. But man, does that song rock. It's probably the heaviest song on here. One of the heaviest Journey songs, period. It just rips, man. La Do Da Do Day is awesome. Unlike the title. Love it. Open the Door, I believe that's what ends it. Beautiful ballad. And then it goes into, you know, this weird open the door thing toward the end. But, you know, I'm not that big of a fan of how it ends. Though I don't hate it, but it's kind of awkward to me. Sounds awkward to me. Feeling That Way, another radio staple with Neil Schon doing some vocals on it. Great, awesome, classic, and deserves to be on classic rock radio. Even though I don't listen to classic rock radio anymore, but when I did, I would always hear that. But it was kind of like We Will Rock You and We Are the Champions, or Heartbreaker and Live and Love and Made. You can't listen to this song, Feeling That Way, without any time following it. Ooh, anytime that you want me. The way that Greg Raleigh, you know, I'm standing here with my arms and my wife. Love it. I love that guy's voice, man. It's got this really like cool texture to it. You know, I love it. All right, and then we got Winds of March. My favorite song off the album. I love it. And as I understand, Robert Fleischman, the guy that sang on Vinnie Vincent's Invasion, he co-wrote that song as well as Wheels in the Sky. And he was actually the singer of Journey between Greg Raleigh and Steve Perry. I don't know what happened, but they ended up getting Steve Perry. I know their manager, Herb something, was the one saying, this guy's going to be your singer. And they're kind of like, and he's like, hey, keep your mouth shut. Steve Perry's going to be your singer. And obviously it was right, because it made them a stadium act at one point. Huge band. Winds of March, just a beautiful ballad, but that middle section rips. It cranks hard, man. The way Neil just goes off, and Greg with the keyboards and shit. They're a very, very talented band. At this point, they had Ansley Dunbar on drums, who's a great drummer, and then Steve Smith, who was in the Dixie Dregs, I believe. And you got to know your shit if you're in the Dixie Dregs. But Ross Valerie, amazing, amazing bass player, you know, and they really show off their chops on that song. All right, then Patiently. Oh, there's two more songs. Patiently, I believe, is a song that either ends side 1 or ends side 2. I believe it's ends side 1. That's the first song Steve and Neil wrote together. And it's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous ballad. I absolutely love Patiently. Then You Can Do What You Want To. That's a cool song. Probably my least favorite on the album, but it's a cool song because I love every song on here. That one and Something to Hide are probably my least favorites, but they're still cool songs. But I dig it, and then Anytime. Anyway, I love me some Journey, and as I showed you, this is it's called In the Beginning, and I believe it has every song from the first 3 albums. I could be wrong. And then there's this one, Next. Is it Next? Yeah, this one's Next. Look Into the Future. Good stuff. Then the follow-up to Infinity, Evolution. Love it. Too Late. Do You Recall? Just the Same Way. City of the Angels. And what's the song that Neil sings on this? Oh, was it Daydream? I believe it was Daydream. Or When You're Alone. I can't remember now. But Neil's got a great voice. He does a really cool vocal on this album. I don't understand why he hasn't sang on more Journey albums. Probably has, the ones I don't own. Then this one, where a little water damage from a waterbed happened, but the album's still pristine. This has, I think, the perfect pop rock song, Any Way You Want It, which was a hit for them. I think that song is just perfect. Walks Like a Lady, cool little bluesy thing. Precious Time is amazing. I'm Crying. Stay a While. Very short, but very beautiful song. This is an awesome album. And that right there, Infinity, Evolution, and Departure. Those are my 3 favorite Journey live albums. And then there's the live album, which is great, and it has that one studio track, The Party's Over. I absolutely love the way that song starts, that little riffing thing that Neil Schon does. Amazing. This is classic. This is when they really exploded, and they got that douchebag Jonathan Cain in the band. But it's still a great album. Still They Ride. It's amazing. Mother, Father, Stone in Love, Keep on Running. Good stuff. And the first time I ever saw them was on Frontiers Tour. They played the Miami Baseball Stadium. See, they were a stadium act by this point. And this one's a little darker than, you know, like Separate Ways. It's kind of a dark song. Chain Reaction, Faithfully. I love it. I love Faithfully. Great ballad. Edge of the Blade and Rubicon. Probably my 2 favorite tracks on here. Good stuff, man. But then I bought this and I gave up. I was like, I'm sorry. This album's garbage. And I never bought anything else after that except for this, which I really recommend. I mean, maybe it's on YouTube and you all should give it a spin. Yeah, it doesn't have Steve Perry. It has a little Filipino guy, Arnell, whatever. What's this guy's name? Dean Castronovo, who was, I believe, either kicked out of the band for severe drug problems, and I understand he's back in the band now. But I really dig this album, and it has re-recordings of the classic stuff. Is there? Man, this thing brings 3 discs. You know, one is the new album, the other one's like a DVD, and then the other one is kind of like reworking of old songs. And I remember I really liked how he did Open Arms. Great singer, but you know, he's a Steve Perry clone. I've said this before on another video. I saw Journey once with Jeff Scott Soto. I wish he would have stayed in the band because he didn't sound like a clone. He didn't sound like this Arnell guy or the guy Steve Algieri, whatever his name was. They sounded like Steve Perry. Where Jeff Scott Soto had his own sound. He brought his own unique flavor to those classic songs. I remember they played Rubicon that night. And it was awesome. But unfortunately, the masses want Steve Perry. So what the hell? Let's get a guy that was in a Steve Perry cover, a Journey cover band in the Philippines. Because people would rather hear that. Because people suck. You suck. You know, for me, you know, but you suck, but I gotta say, it's a good album, all right, whatever. But, you know, just the fact that people would accept a Steve Perry clone than Jeff Scott Soto is bullshit. Anyway, that's it. My classic rock album this month was this album that I still consider the best. Maybe it is a timeline thing, but Infinity is an awesome, awesome classic rock album. That's all over the radio. Almost half of this album is on the radio. I believe still. I never listen to radio anymore, but I listen to my iPod Shuffle and those songs pop up on there. So anyway, thank you all for watching. If you'd like to donate, I got a PayPal in the description below. And please subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And click that little bell for notifications because that'll give you a notification that, hey, Knucklehead got a new video up. Alright, my friends. Thank you for watching. Stay frosty, listen to Sabbath and SHMACKEMAGOB.